Welcome back, Nerd Squad. My name is Rory Destroya, and this is Top 10 Nerd. No matter how big a budget and how much detail go into a film, humans will always be humans and mistakes will be made. Some are worse or funnier than others, however, and those are what we are here for today. So let's take a look at the top 10 Marvel movie mistakes you cannot unsee. This is all the Marvel films, by the way, not just the ones in the MCU. In the number 10 spot, The Walking Money. Wouldn't it be great if money just appeared where it was needed? Yeah, right. Well, in The Incredible Hulk, there is a scene where Bruce Banner is in need of some moolah. We can see it tucked away in his wallet, but the money, obviously sentient and sensing the urgency of the situation, leaps from the wallet all on its own and lays itself in plain sight. How convenient. How discontinuous. Next at number 9, Black Widow, kind of in general. I mean, yeah, it's pretty hard to unsee her for sure, but stick with me here. Black Widow is one character that had so much potential, and then the MCU just kept making mistake after mistake with her. She's the only main female Avenger. She's supposed to be a human woman holding her own beside a giant green monster and a literal god. She had endless potential. Instead, she's just a love interest who doesn't do much but sing lullabies to the Hulk. Cannot unsee this waste of a strong lady lead. Coming in at number 8, Captain America's Super Gel. This was an easy oversight to make, but while so much attention was paid to costume and setting and plot, the Avengers made one mistake that kinda took us out of the reality. Unless Captain America's hair gel is as super as he is, why the hell is it so still when he's on a motorcycle? Never mind the flagrant disregard for head safety, now we know he isn't actually driving a bike on his own, and that kinda takes away from the badassery. In the number 7 spot, Captain America's self-healing suit. While we are on the topic of Cap, I wasn't aware he had a healing factor that also mended clothing. To be fair, the Avengers' New York fight scene was one of the biggest things Marvel Studios has done, so a little error or a few are acceptable. But while Cap's suit managed to stay damaged throughout the entire battle, as soon as the team heads up back to Stark Tower, the suit has magically repaired itself, while his shield is still damaged. Up at number 6, Death Hair. This was another little oversight that happened in the Avengers. During the scene that introduced Black Widow to us, she was strapped down to a chair for interrogation. Upon being summoned by her team, she breaks free. At one point, she smashes her chair down on one of her enemies and then tosses her head back for a headbutt, but her hair kinda just visibly brushes the guy's face. Doesn't matter, he's knocked out anyway. So deadly smacking as a secret power of hers confirmed. Or else they would have just redone the scene with the stuntman standing closer, right? Coming in at number 5, the time traveling tapes. Peter Quill from Guardians of the Galaxy only has these awesome mixes to remember his mother by. But for us, they're a reminder of lazy research. The mixes were existent when Peter was taken in by Yondu in 1988, but the kind of cassettes they are on didn't exist on Earth until 1993. We can just pretend that Daddy Ego loved cutting-edge tech and brought these cassettes to Earth with him for his listening pleasure. Next up at number 4 is the reappearing lamp. If you've just been imbued with awesome new powers, you're gonna want to test them out, and you may not notice some strange things going on at the same time. For example, in the first Spider-Man, when Peter Parker just receives his powers, he grabs a lamp with his webbing and tosses it across the room. But just a few seconds later, the lamp is back in place without injury. Of course, you wouldn't notice regenerating furniture when you're having the time of your life. Neither did any of the many people on set that day. Up next at number 3, the secret to flight. What, you mean actors playing superheroes can't actually leap to inhuman heights? Well, nope, but it can appear that way with an eye for detail. Someone's eyes were clearly shut here. In Age of Ultron, Captain America jumps off a semi to square off with Ultron, but when he is blasted off, we get a split-second pull out of the movie magic because somebody left a bit of cable in the shot without editing it out, and we aren't talking the guy from Deadpool here. In the number 2 spot, Steve Rogers' pre-serum body. Captain America, the first Avenger, covered Cap's origin story from the beginning. In order to get a Steve Rogers body before the guy was injected with super soldier serum, the filmmakers chopped off Chris Evans' head and sewed it onto another body. Totally kidding, but they did use CGI to put his head onto a shrunken body. But perhaps they could have finessed the technique a little bit. I know it's tough, because he turned into quite the bobblehead in most scenes. Ever seen someone whose head is way too big for their body? Now you have. And finally, in the number 1 spot, you're in Canada, eh? So X-Men Origins Wolverine was a total mistake of a movie, but that's not to say we can't point out mistakes within a mistake. The movie is supposed to take place in Canada, where we drive on the right side of the road, like intelligent human beings. However, in one scene, an arrow on the road indicating driving on the left is visible. This is because it was filmed in New Zealand, where this crazy driving etiquette exists. So either that elderly couple was really old and confused, or the filmmakers just didn't bother to even try. Should have thrown in a Tim's Cup or two at least. So those were the top 10 Marvel movie mistakes. Let me know in the comment section down below what mistakes we may have missed. I know there are a lot out there. My name is Roya Estrella, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another nerdy list.